Yeah, well, it's certainly been a very active scene since 9:30 this morning. We have been on the ground here, all morning long now. We're dipping into the afternoon, and there's certainly some challenges here, but I want to get right to it. We're going to bring in Captain Jason Shandley with the San Diego Fire Rescue with the latest update right now. You already said minutes ago there's about 200 personnel. That has not changed, and we're still at about 80 acres as well. So what is the very latest at this hour?
Yeah, right now, like you said, several hundred personnel, about 80 acres. I just want to say we're extremely grateful for CAL FIRE and for the resources. If you look in the air, majority of the air resources that we have here, besides our Copter 3, is from CAL FIRE, along with several personnel on the ground. This fire looks totally different if CAL FIRE is not here. So I think it's important to talk about the regional coordination that happens all the time. They're making some progress on the fire. We're not calling forward rate of spread stopped at this particular time, but they are making headway. And most of that is going to be because of the air resources that are here. So again, can't state enough how grateful we are for the relationship with CAL FIRE. Yeah.
How is this fire different than 9:30 in the morning when it broke out to now?
Yeah. So the later you get in the day, right around 1 o'clock typically is the hottest time of the day. As you notice since you've been here, as the hour increases, the winds pick up, it begins to be hotter. That affects the fuel, it affects the behavior of the fire. These fires are extremely dangerous because of those things. You see the topography, it's almost straight uphill. It makes it very difficult for firefighters to get into some of these spaces, again, while we depend heavily on the air resources. But also, if you look where the origin of the fire in this particular area, the power lines. And so originally we were focused on the northern part of the fire, and now we're focusing more on the eastern side of the fire. So we do have and it changes the type of resources that we can get, the amount that are able to get here. And so we have bulldozers on the eastern side that are cutting line, that are working in tandem with the air resources to try to create a natural barrier so that the fire will burn up to a particular area and stop. But typically it's the weather and the wind that's going to change. That's what you're seeing between 9 o'clock and right now.
And Captain Shandley, when we arrived on the scene, this hillside right here behind me, it was engulfed in flames. Now that's out. So how are you feeling at this point as we move into the rest of the day? More confident?
Sure, yeah. Well, and so being a fire professional, this is obviously not our first time doing something like this. And the confidence comes from the skills that all these professionals bring to the table, but also because of the air resources. I know what we're willing to do to make sure that the public is safe, and I know that everybody that's a part of this incident is willing to do what it takes to keep the public safe. So we're certainly confident, not overly confident. Obviously we've been here before. We know the potential for a fire like this, so that is the reason why our tactics and strategies will change depending on the time of day, depending on what we have. And so I believe that we'll make good progress on the fire, but we don't ever rest on that. We're going to treat it as though at any moment this thing could go wild, and that's what you're going to see with the air resources and with the other resources out here working to make sure that we can get control of it. These are some of the most dangerous fires that we fight because they're very, very unpredictable, and so we work with that in our mind. But I'm confident in the work that these professionals are going to be able to do 100%.
And when you talk about the air resources, can you define a little bit more about what we're doing and what we're using? Because we have been seeing water drops around the clock since we got here.
Yeah, so what we have right now, I believe we still have 6 air resources or 7 air resources that are out here right now. We have 4 helicopters, our Copter 3, of course, and then we have CAL FIRE's helicopters. And then we have air resources, the fixed-wing aircraft that, as you're seeing the pink retardant that's being dropped, they're going ahead of the fire to, again, work in tandem with the dozers that are also here from CAL FIRE. And so once the fixed-wing aircraft drop their retardant, when they go back to fill, the helicopters then come in and begin to drop water so that there's a constant firefight happening. We can't let this fire we don't want it to gain any momentum, and the way that we do it is by continuing to put product on this fire to try to stop the spread of it. That's what you're seeing, immense coordination that happens, and again, that is in large part due to CAL FIRE.
Okay, I have a couple more questions for you. About an hour ago, you came out here and you said, hey, can you issue sort of a warning because there's somebody flying a drone in this area?
Yeah, I get it. People want to, we're in a social media driven time right now, and people want to get the shot. But what people don't realize is that drones are extremely dangerous for these air resources. We will ground air resources before we allow them to come into contact with a drone. Major damage happens when drones are flown. So we're just asking the public, we know that people want to get content and get it, but what we don't need right now is any pauses on the progress that we're making right now. There are lives at stake, there's property that's being threatened, and we need every resource up here as much as possible for as long as possible to accomplish the task. So we're asking you to please refrain. We did get a hold of the person that had the drone. Thankfully, PD handled that. We got that drone out of the air. We're just asking everybody, please don't allow there to be an emergency inside of this emergency. What's happening right now is we're making progress and doing a really good job, and we don't want anything to stop us from being able to continue this firefight.
Okay, and my last question, what do we tell the residents right now, and what areas are impacted the most right now in terms of evacuations and evacuation orders?
Yeah, we're telling the public to pay attention to the Genesis app. This is the reason why we push that app so heavily. It's times like this. PD, as you can see behind us, PD is doing an incredible job. They're the ones that do all the coordination for when we do evacuations, who's being evacuated, getting the evacuation spot, making sure that the public's made aware, and they do that on the Genesis app. So pay attention to the Genesis app. If you get an order, pay attention to it. Don't wait. Don't wait until the last minute. They're thinking heavily before they do that. Right now, there's about 2,200 buildings that are under evacuation right now, under the order. Most of them are going to be commercial. It's a heavy commercial area here. But pay attention to the Genesis app. If the order comes out, leave. If the warning comes out, pay attention to it. Act quickly. The worst thing that can happen in a time like this is we have residents leaving that are worried about their life, and we understand that, but it puts the firefighters and police and other first responders that are in this area at risk because you're not paying attention. And also, if you see, sometimes the smoke can be a lure to look and see. Don't pay attention to it. I know it's difficult. Just continue to drive, pay attention to the road, and allow us to do what we're doing right now so we can keep people safe.
Okay, thank you very much. And as far as we know right now, no property damage.
Not at this particular time.
All right. Thank you, Captain, so much. I know we'll let you get back to work. We appreciate the update.